Hi, my name's Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. I'm here today to do a review on the Carter 2 Moons release aid. It's a back tension release aid from Carter. Carter's famous for doing release aids. Not so famous for the back tension release aids, very famous for the thumb release aids. They've been in business for, I'm going to say over 30 years. It's well over 30 years. It must be approaching 40 years. And they produce high quality top end release aids. The Carter 2 Moons comes in 2 sizes, small and large. There's no medium. It comes in 3 finger and 4 finger, and it comes in 3 colors: red, black, and also probably a blue. Now, the way the anodizing works with Carter, basically they do a batch of reds, they do a batch of blacks, they do a batch of blues. So you never know what color release aid you're going to get until it physically arrives. So in stock, these just came in Friday. A black one came in the 4 finger in large. The red that came in 3 finger in small. They weren't ordered by color, they were just ordered. If I do order them by color, it depends what's in stock, and there can be a 3-week wait for a color depending on what's being produced. So the standard back tension release aid, the way it works is with a hinge. So basically this moves, which triggers this here. So that's a standard back tension. Now with the 2 Moon system, you actually have 2 hinges here on the back. So there's one on this side and one on that side. So your standard back tension release aid just over here is a Moon. And the trigger, the little hook bit, runs around here. And when it gets to this point here, it fires. So once it comes over the lip, it fires. Now standard back tension release aids have a click. So as you shoot, just before you shoot, they have a little groove in the Moon. As soon as it hits the groove, you hear a click. Now that causes me to flinch. It didn't originally, but it does now. So as I'm pulling back, my trigger's moving around, it hits that click. It goes click, which tells you it's about ready to shoot. Just after you get past that, it shoots. Now with the Carter 2 Moon system, they actually have 2 moons. So one is a just standard moon with no little ridge. The other one's got this little ridge in it. So you can actually set the click. So you can set the click to be there, you can set the click to be there or there by having the dual systems. On the standard back tension release aid, and Carter, this is the only release aid which does this. With the standard release aid, it basically clicks just before it's about to shoot. With this here, you can set the click to be there. So as you're pulling back, it's like, okay, I've still got a little bit more to go. Or you can set the click to be up here. It's up to you. So I'll try and zoom in on this. I'll try and zoom in so you can see those two moons. You can see the 2 moons. This one on this side here is the click. The other one on the other side is the standard moon that I was referring to. It's a half a shape of a circle. So the other one, which is a really weird shape, is like a little click. Now to adjust these 2 moons, you've got these 4 little Allen keys here, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. Now what they're doing, they're pushing up against these 2 moons. So these 2 moons are pushed up against each other, and they're basically holding the moons in place. So when you want to adjust these moons, I'll just try and zoom in. When you want to adjust these moons, so to have more or less play, all you do is loosen off those Allen keys and move them backwards and forwards. Now while that seems simple, I spent, the first time I did this review, and this is obviously not the first time I did this, I spent about an hour adjusting it so I didn't have the click and getting the travel to feel right for me in the draw cycle. So that took about an hour, and when I'm doing the video, I'm there trying to explain how to do the adjustment. I then spent another 30 minutes getting it to the stage where I'm pretty comfortable with the way I want it set. Now, saying that, actually this one's interesting. This is a small, this one only has 2 grub screws. Although there's a grub screw there, there's actually no Allen keys in it. Now on the newer, when I say the newer version, this version here is a standard hinge release aid. So there's no magnets, it just falls into place. You load it by using your finger. That's the standard system. Now Carter have just updated this release aid. Now this release aid came in on Friday. So that's the small 3-finger. That just came in. Now this one also came in. This is a 3-finger in large. So what Carter have done, Carter have updated the release aid. They've made it the same as the Total Control release aid, which is the back tension. Now what's different about this comes with an Allen key. It's got a magnet, so I can show you it's got a magnet system. There's a magnet in here, and what the magnet does, it holds this, it causes this little trigger to come back into place all the time. So to load it, like once it shoots, you can see it doesn't want to load it, as always basically falls into place, but once you shoot it just comes back into place all the time, so you don't have to move it, so quicker to load. Now if you want to order the small with the new system, you're probably not going to be able to get it because Carter will sell out of all their original ones before they produce the new version of this system. Same as if you ordered a 4-finger version of this, you'll probably still get the old version. Is the old version better or worse than the new system? To me it's pretty much the same, it's just the loading system's a bit quicker. The trigger here doesn't open up as much as it does for that's as far as it opens. Where the original one, the trigger when it opens up right the way through, so you can see it's got a lot more movement in the head. Now I don't think that makes any difference, but that's the difference. I think the price is the same. I think these retail around 230 Australian dollars. Now the new version of this has, it has 4 Allen keys. One there, and 2 on the other side. Now, the 2 sizes it comes in. The small, I've got a pretty standard hand. The small's too small for my hand. The large fits like that. Now, this feels too big for my hand. And when I was thinking about the video after I shot the last one, I shot this, and I was thinking, do I want to shoot this as a back tension release aid or not? There's a whole heap of back tension release aids out there, and it's got to feel comfortable in your hand. Now I really like Carter. First off, their release aids are top notch. I've got one which I've had for over 35 years. Still works fine. And my conclusion to this release aid, I love the adjustability in the 2 moons to adjust the click. Now I don't use a click, but I love the adjustability of that system for customers. And a lot of people feel more confident hearing the click and knowing that they're then about to shoot. But I don't use a click. Now I found the large version too big for my hand, but we're going to shoot it anyway. So my conclusion with this, as much as I like the release aid, I love the design of the Carter. I love the product, the finish is great, the anodizing will look like this in 20 years time. And this is my thing. This is my backspin. You can see the anodizing is already starting to wear off, and that's after less than a year. So the Carter anodizing is fantastic. It looks, my release aid from 35 years looks the same as the day I got it. So anodizing is not anodizing. So Carter stuff, top notch. It's just for me, I felt like this was a little bit big for my hand. So when it comes to release aids, try them out and see how it feels for you. There's a whole heap of back tensions, and one of the problems is the shops generally won't let you shoot stuff before you buy, because then it's second hand. But we'll shoot this one now and see how it goes. Now with a back tension release aid, you hold your thumb on this peg like so, and you're pulling back with basically this finger here, the pointy finger. If you put pressure on with these fingers, pulling it back, you'll punch yourself in the mouth. So you put pressure with this finger and this finger, you will punch yourself in the mouth as you're drawing back the bow. And I always suggest to people who want to try back tension, and the reason you want to try back tension is because it improves your aiming, because you don't know when the shot's about to go off. And sometimes I'll be shooting, and yesterday I was shooting in the backyard, or I was shooting out the front, and I was aimed in the 9 and it went off in the 9, and I was like, damn, it was a 9. But the rest of my shots were in the 10, because what it does, it improves your aiming. Instead of going, when do I shoot, when do I shoot, when do I shoot, you're not thinking that. You're thinking, hold that thing in the 10, hold the thing in the 10, hold it in the 10, and then it goes. And as soon as it goes and you're still aiming the 10, it's going to be a 10. But if you're thinking the whole time, when do I shoot, when do I shoot, when do I shoot, you're going to get this trigger. You're going to be punching the trigger. And that's why the majority of target shooters will be shooting back tension release aid. And you will have success with wrist releases, thumb release aids, every other release you'll have success with. But it'll get to the point where you'll start to be punching the trigger, and that's where the back tension release aid comes in. So to load this is easy because it doesn't move. You can see there's no movement. The loading is as good as anything else on the market. True Bull have a spring system to get theirs into place. This is probably a little bit easier because it's a magnet, but it's fine. So we're going to go through the draw cycle. So I draw back. You can see my little fingers off. Now I'm getting ready for the shot. I heard a click and I shook. I'm just going to roll my finger. So I just basically roll. So I take my thumb off the peg to enable this to roll around, and what I'm doing is I'm moving my shoulder around. Now I did hear a click and that caused me to shake a little bit. I don't know if that was a click not being set. Like there was a lot of movement between the click and the shot, but it's still set fairly fine. And there's the click again. Now I found this a little bit, I found I got pressure up there, and I found the pegs and it curls back a little bit too far for my comfort. But it feels great to shoot. Like as far as back tension release aids to shoot, feels great. It's easy to set this thing off, easy to shoot, easy to load. I don't like the click. I don't like the click. Now it might be the click I haven't set it correctly from the last one, because you can see I'm trying to zoom in. You can see the little, maybe I can zoom in. You can see there's a little click there. So I assume you can turn that off, and I have had this turned off before. I don't like the click. But overall, the release aid's nice. My biggest issue is the fit on my hand. So this wouldn't be a release aid I would be shooting. And I did think about it. I thought about it for about an hour to 2 hours about shooting this as my next release, as my next back tension release aid. But I found it a little bit too big for my hand. And the small's too small for my hand. So that will then get me to try more back tensions, and we'll be reviewing more back tensions as we go before I make a decision about which back tension release aid I'm going to shoot. But overall, the quality is great. I like the click system. I like the adjustment, although the adjustment did take me a bit to get used to. It does come with instructions in the kit. I found the instructions were less than adequate, as in very little helpful. They weren't very helpful at all. There was a whole page of instructions, and I did read them, and I didn't find it actually helped me understand how this release aid works or how to adjust it. I would have liked a video. I did look for videos on the 2 moons. I looked up for YouTube. I looked for Carter doing a release aid explaining how this works. It is fairly simple, and maybe people think it's self-occurrence, but the majority of archers buying a release aid are recreational archers, and they probably have never shot a release aid before. And you're going to say, is this the person who's going to buy this? This is going to be an experienced archer buy this. I'm going to say no. The majority of archers, 95% of archers, are recreational archers, which means they shoot in their backyard, they shoot socially, they don't shoot all the time. I sold a back tension release aid to a recreational archer on Saturday. He shoots in his backyard. He was getting a back tension release aid because he was punching his release aid and was feeling uncomfortable with that. So here's going to try back tension. And that's the majority of your sales. Sure, these are going to sell to target archers, but target archers are a minority. The majority of your sales are recreational people. So it's best to try it, see how it feels in your hand. I like the click system. The adjustability is good. I think the price point on this release aid is good, but to me it's got to fit. And I think it's fractionally, I think Carter just got it fractionally large. I'd like a medium. They've done small, they've done large. I'd like this in a medium size, because overall I think it's a good quality release aid. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Check out the Carter 2 Moons at your local archery shop. Try back tension release aid. It's very scary to start with. It took me 3 months before I shot back tension in a tournament, and I shot at the tournament quite well, but I was still really nervous shooting it. After a year of shooting, I'm a lot more comfortable. And even just shooting this release aid just then, I wasn't comfortable with this because it's a new release aid to me. But over time of shooting, it becomes more comfortable. And it will become second nature. And shoot up close and shoot a low poundage bow when trying a back tension release aid. So I've got a 30 pound compound here set up, and I give that to people to try when they try back tension release aids. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Shoot lots of arrows because that will improve your archery, and I hope that's helped you. Thank you. Bye.